Hey, good evening, everyone. Am I audible now? Okay, chalo, good. Just give me 1 minute. I need to just accept some invitations. Okay, so yesterday we talked about modifiers. That was pretty simple. So today we are going to talk about the second error type, that is subject verb agreement. Is everybody able to see this? Yeah? Okay, okay, just a minute. Okay, let's start. Now, subject verb agreement, we all know that every sentence has a subject and a verb, and the subject and the verb must agree in number. Okay, the subject and the verb must agree in number means they have to be either both be singular or both have to be plural. So, if the subject is singular, then the verb also has to be singular. If the subject is plural, then the verb that you use also has to be plural. This is a very basic rule of subject verb agreement, which I believe almost everybody is familiar with. Just 1 minute. Okay. So now the challenge is that what examinations will do, examinations will try to make the subject of each sentence as confusing as possible. Okay. Because then if this happens, then then if there is a confusion in your mind that what is the subject, then you will not be able to find out or you'll not be able to make out whether the verb should be singular or plural. So consequently, if you cannot find the subject, you can't make the verb agree with it. So the first thing that you do whenever you see a sentence is you determine what is the subject of the sentence. Okay, what is the subject of the sentence? Because if the subject is singular, then you know for sure that the verb you use has to be singular. If the subject is plural, then the verb that you use has to be plural. Now, question is, how to determine the subject. So there are basically to find the subject. What you can do is you can look at the verb in the sentence. You can look at the verb in the sentence. Verb is what? Verb is the action word. When you read the sentence, try to find out that someone or that something who is doing the action or who is being talked about is the subject. Similarly, any person, place, animal or thing that is being talked about in the sentence is the subject of the sentence. Okay? So that person who is being talked about, that thing which is being talked about, the person who is performing the action is the subject. Okay? Okay. Now, for example, if you just take a look at the sentence, it says Jasper gasped at the mummy's sudden movement. So ask yourself the question, who gasped? Who performed this action? You know it is Jasper. So we know that the subject for this sentence is Jasper. So when you find the answer to this question, you have found your subject. Okay. Now what will happen? Some other examples. For example, if you look at this sentence, it says Rahul eats. So who is the subject? Subject is Rahul. We are talking about Rahul. Similarly, most people in the world hate Hitler. So we are talking about people. Who is doing this hating? The people. Okay. So the subject is the people and not the world. Similarly, My group of fourth graders is well behaved. So who is well behaved? The group. The group is well behaved. This group is of fourth graders. This is extra information. This is a modifier. So we are actually talking about a group. Who is part of this group? That is secondary. Okay. So this group is well behaved. That means the subject is the group. We are talking about the group. We are not talking about the fourth graders in isolation. So the subject in this sentence is the group. Similarly, the set of all numbers from 1 to infinity is called whole numbers. What is the subject here? Yes, the set. The set is the subject. Now this set is of all numbers, that is immaterial. Of all numbers is extra information. We are actually talking about the set. So our subject is the set. Okay. So I believe you are pretty comfortable with finding out what is the subject of the sentence. Okay. Now what happens that uh, sometimes, normally a single sentence has one subject, but there can be situations in which a single sentence has multiple subjects and multiple verbs, and therein the complications start. So please understand that a single subject may have multiple subjects and may have multiple verbs. Let me just show you an example. This is an example of a sentence that has multiple subjects. For example, it says Lola and Lulu ganged up on George yesterday to his dismay and defeat. So who is performing the action? Both Lola and Lulu. So you have two subjects here in this sentence. Similarly, the omelette and fries revolted Eggworthy. So who revolted? It is the omelette and fries. So you have two subjects again. Then Snort and Squirm were the only two dwarfs expelled from Snow White's band. So who were expelled? Snort and Squirm. Both are subjects. Okay. Let us also look at a sentence that has multiple verbs. George. Now we're talking about George. We have one subject, George. George snatched the atomic secret and quickly stashed it in his navel. So George is performing two actions, snatching and stashing. So you have two verbs, snatch, stash, and one subject, that is George. Similarly, Ella ranted for hours about Larry's refusal to hold an engagement party and then crept home. So Ella did two things. She ranted and she crept home. So these two actions she has performed, both are verbs. You have only one subject, that is Ella. Eggworthy came out of his shell last winter but didn't stay there. So what did Eggworthy do? Number one, he came out but he didn't stay there. So Eggworthy performed two actions. He came out but he didn't stay there. You have one subject, Eggworthy, performing two verbs, came and didn't stay. Any questions till now? Anybody? Okay. Now, what I want you to do is, I'll give you some sentences. You need to tell me what is the subject. Okay. Number one, as is the case with his friends, Rahul is not interested in attending lecture. Subject क्या है? Okay, very good. So you have only one subject, Rahul. Very good. Number two, Rahul, like all his friends, does not like attending lectures. Subject क्या है in number two? Okay, all of you are saying only Rahul. So only Rahul is the subject. Abhishek is saying Rahul and friends. Okay, Rahul and his friends. Sanjula is saying Rahul and his friends. Okay, Tushar Sharma, very, very good. Like all his friends is extra information. Okay, like all his friends is extra information. It's kind of a modifier. So you can actually, eliminate this. So subject here is only Rahul in number two. Okay, number three, Sumesh as well as Randeep is in a habit of ogling at girls. Subject one है only Sumesh या Randeep भी. Okay, all of you are saying दोनों हैं. No, 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 no. Remember, as well as introduces a modifier. So this is also a modifier. The subject is only Sumesh. Okay, I will tell you about all these rules. ये सारे rules अभी मैं आपको बताऊंगा. Whenever you have sentences जिसमें ये हो like all his friends as well as तो फिर क्या होता है subject क्या होता है I'll tell you. I just wanted to see whether you already know about it or not. So in number three there is only one subject, that is Sumesh. Sagar, you are saying that anything in between commas is extra information. Yes, that is another way of looking at it. Yes, you are right. You are right. Number four, Sumesh and Randeep are in the habit of ogling at girls. Subject. Both. Very, very good. Both. Very good. दोनों के दोनों. Sumesh and Randeep. Good. So you're talking about both. The entire amount of 200 crores was spent on infrastructure. What is the subject? Very good. The entire amount. The amount is the subject. It is immaterial that this amount is of 200 crores because this information that this amount is of 200 crores is extra information about the subject. The subject is amount. Okay, good. Very good. Shashank, just the amount. Entire to adverb है ना? The word entire is an adverb which tells you till what extent. So subject is amount. Okay, Shashank. Normally adverbs are not subjects. Adverbs subjects नहीं हो सकते. Okay, fine. So now that you know some basics, let's talk about subject verb agreement. Subject verb agreement. The very basic rule is that if there is a singular subject, then you should use a singular verb. If there is a plural subject, you should use a plural verb. Okay. Abhinav, you are saying, does every sentence have a subject? Every sentence should have a subject, Abhinav. Some people are in the habit of writing in such a manner that they believe that subject is implied. Subject implied है, but in examinations it is not implied. Even though in common usage we write sentences in such a manner that the subject is implied, but error correction के question में it is not implied. The subject has to be there. ठीक है अभिनव? Okay. So basically the trick as far as subject verb agreement is concerned is in knowing whether the subject is singular or plural. If you know that whether the subject is singular or plural, the next trick is to find out whether the verb is singular or plural. Now my question to you is, how do you find out whether a verb is singular or plural? बताओ. Do you know? How will you come to know whether a verb is singular or plural? Comes and come. Okay. But ये तो example है ना. This is an example. But how do you know कौन सा verb singular है कौन सा verb plural है? Instinct. Tushar is saying instinct. Acha. Is or are. Ashutosh, that is also an example. Okay, I'll tell you. Very, very simple. Very, very simple. Singular S से start होता है ना? Verbs that end in S. बहुत short में बता रहा हूँ मैं. Verbs that end in S are singular. Always. लगा के देख लो. Examples ले लो. Is, has, was, comes, goes, runs, walks, swims. Verbs that do not end in S are plurals. Okay, very simple way. So this is one way. ये एक तरीका है पता लगाने का whether the verb is singular or plural. There is another way. दूसरा way ये है that you just frame a sentence. For example, the dog. The dog के बाद क्या use करोगे? Bark या barks? Barks. So barks is singular. But if I say the dogs, then what will you use? Bark or barks? Very simple. Okay. So that is how you can find out whether the verb is singular or plural. So this is a hint. I told you that verbs do not form the plurals by adding an S as nouns do. In order to find out which verb is singular and which verb is plural, think of which verb you would use with he, she, and which verb you will use with they. This is also a good way of finding out. He, she के साथ कौन सा verb लगाओगे और they के साथ कौन सा verb लगाओगे? The verbs that you use with he and she are singular. The verbs that you use with they is plural. Okay. For example, here he talks. Talks is singular. They talk. Talk is plural. Okay. This is one. And alternatively, I just told you, alternatively, if the subject is singular, we know we should use singular verbs such as is, was, has, does, describes, and not describe, presents, walks. Okay, so you see S is for singular. Lakshya, you are saying yes for the present tense, because simple present tense is the most commonly used tense. Yes, it is applicable for the present tense. Yes, simple present tense, because 90% of the times you use simple present tense. Okay, so you can see that all verbs that end in S, they are singular. Okay, so now I told you that if the subject is plural, that is more than one, then you use plural verbs such as are, were, have, do, or do not, describe, present, walk. You can see that none of them end in an S. Okay. Now see, the clock strikes at 1/4 Over here, the subject is clock, which is a singular noun, and that is why it takes the singular verb strikes. But if the sentence was something like this, clocks, now it becomes plural, clocks, then the verb that you use is strike. The plural verb strike and not strikes. Okay? Okay, but what about this one? The consent of both sets of parents are needed for a juvenile marriage. Is this correct? Manish, you are saying yes, it is correct. Okay. The subject over here, what is the subject? The subject is the consent. Now this consent is of both sets of parents, that is immaterial, but actually we're talking about the consent. So the consent, not are, is needed. It should be is needed for a juvenile marriage. Okay. So the subject and verb in this sentence are not in agreement. Excuse me. Consent is the subject, not sets of parents. Consequently, the verb should be is and not are. Okay. Now, in examinations, the most common way to confuse the students about the number of subjects is to split up the subject and the verb by inserting a phrase in between. Okay. Now, this phrase is called a modifier or a middleman. सब्जेक्ट और वर्ब के बीच में जितना इंफॉर्मेशन है ज्यादातर वो एक्स्ट्रा इंफॉर्मेशन होता है उनको मिडलमैन या मॉडिफायर कहते हैं एंड यू मस्ट लर्न टू एलिमिनेट दिस इंटरवेनिंग फ्रेज you must eliminate the middleman so that the true subject becomes clear. Okay, for example, let me just give you some examples. जैसे देखो, the houses of that rich man contain या contains very expensive furniture. तो यहाँ पर वर्ब है, ये वर्ब है एंड ये सब्जेक्ट है, इसके बीच में ऑफ दैट रिच मैन इज एक्स्ट्रा इंफॉर्मेशन. So what is the subject of this sentence? Are you talking about the houses or are you talking about the man? You're talking about the houses, right? So you're talking about the houses, which is plural. So if you eliminate the middleman, that means the extra information, the modifying phrase that separates the subject from the verb, you will come to know that we are actually talking about the houses and not the rich man, which will give you the answer. The houses contain and not contains very expensive furniture because houses is plural. Similarly, I told you that if you want to find the subject, eliminate the modifiers. Modifiers, to understand modifiers, just remember that if you can remove a phrase from the sentence and the sentence still makes sense, then that phrase is in all probability a middleman. It is a modifier. It is extra information. And we talked a lot about modifiers in the previous session that we had yesterday. So for subject verb agreements, there are certain rules that you have to keep in mind. There are 16 or 17 rules. So we'll very quickly take a look at all these rules. First and second rule you already know, that if there is a singular subject, you should use a singular verb form. Okay. Example is here, the dog runs out of the house. You don't say the dog run out of the house. So singular subjects require singular verbs. You know that. This is rule number 1. Rule number 2. Rule number 2 states that a plural subject will require a plural verb form. So if you say the dogs, then you use the word run and not runs. The dogs run out of the house. Rule number 2. Then we come to rule number 3. Rule number 3 states that if there are two singular subjects and they are connected by the word or, then you will use a singular verb in the sentence. So there are two singular subjects connected with the word or, then you will use a singular verb. For example, here, my aunt or my uncle is arriving by train today. Many people will say my aunt or my uncle are arriving by train today. That is wrong. So my aunt is singular, or my uncle is again singular. So you will use a singular verb. Is this clear? Rule number 3. तुषार मैं आ रहा हूँ उसके ऊपर. Don't worry, hold your horses. Okay. Rule number 4. If there are two singular subjects and they are connected with the words either or, yeah, neither nor, then also you will require a singular verb. Two singular subjects connected by words either or, ya neither nor, will require a singular verb. For example, for example, neither Juan nor Carmen is available. Okay, neither nor, singular subject, singular subject. Many people use are. Neither Juan nor Carmen are available. Neither biscuits nor cookies are available. ऐसे बोलते हैं ना, हालांकि उसमें तो आर होना चाहिए क्योंकि कुकीज प्लूरल हो जाता है. दिस इज एक्चुअली व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट subjects that are singular. Similarly, either Kiana or Casey is helping today with stage decorations. You don't use are helping because इन दोनों में से कोई एक ही कर रहा है. Okay, rule number 4. Then हाँ, Srinivas, I'm coming to that. If one is singular, one is plural, फिर क्या करना है? I'm coming to that. Rule number 5. If one of the subjects is singular and the other subject is plural and they are connected by words like or, either or, neither nor, not only but also, then what you are going to do? Then you will find the subject that is nearest to the verb. जो भी subject verb के करीब होगा, the verb will take the form of that subject. Okay, so you will find the subject that is nearest to the verb and you will make sure that the verb agrees in number with this subject. Okay, Shilpi, neither of you, neither वाला रूल मैं भी बता रहा हूँ, is going होना चाहिए. शिल्पी अभी अभी क्वेश्चंस अपने पास रखो. लेट मी कंप्लीट ऑल द रूल्स. उसके बाद अगर मैंने कुछ नहीं बताया देन यू कैन आस्क. ये मैं रूल बताने वाला हूँ आपको, डोंट वरी. ओके, नाउ अगर इफ देयर आर टू सब्जेक्ट्स, वन इज सिंगुलर वन इज प्लूरल, देन व्हाट आर यू गोइंग टू डू? एंड दे आर कनेक्टेड बाय दीज वर्ड्स और, ईदर और, नीदर नॉर, not only but also, then whatever subject is closer to the verb, that verb will agree in number with that subject. तो अगर वर्ब के नजदीक सिंगुलर सब्जेक्ट है तो वर्ब सिंगुलर होगा. अगर वर्ब के नजदीक प्लूरल सब्जेक्ट है तो प्लूरल होगा वर्ब. एग्जांपल देता हूं मैं. लेट मी जस्ट गिव यू एन एग्जांपल. नीदर जो nor his friends are going to the beach. Now because the verb is closer to plural subject, it takes plural form. But if I change the subject, अगर मैं इसको change, I mean इस sentence को थोड़ा सा change कर दूं. If I rewrite this sentence something like this: neither his friends nor Joe is going to the beach. Now why I'm using is? Because it is closer to singular subject. Okay. Okay. Other examples: either the senators or the president is misinformed. I use the verb is. Why? Because it is closer to the subject president, which is singular. But Akshay, you are saying but pronoun noun से पहले आ रहा है. Is it right? हाँ, आ सकता है, बट उसी सेंटेंस में होना चाहिए अक्षय. अगर उसी सेंटेंस में है तो प्रोनाउन नाउन से पहले आ सकता है. ओके. Okay. If I actually reverse this sentence and write something like this: either the president or the senators are misinformed. Why I used are? Because it's closer to senators, which is plural. This is rule number 5. Now, other examples also. Not only the students, but also their professor looks forward to the final exam. Now, because professor is singular and it is closer to the verb, that is why the verb is singular. But if I change it and say not only the professor, but also the students, then the verb that you will use is look. Look forward to the final exam. Okay, let's come to rule number 6 then. Rule number 5 ho gaya. Rule number 6. Rule number 6. What does it say? Please remember that the word of introduces modifiers. The word of in sentences generally introduces modifiers. So we generally ignore the information that is after the word of. Okay. Whenever we want to find out what is our subject. So remember, do not get confused by subjects that are followed by the word of. Why? These of constructions are just clever middlemen that try to disguise the true subject. Just as with other middlemen, you should eliminate the of construction in order to find the true subject. Okay? Let me show you with an example. Example देखो, number 1, the discovery of new lands was or were vital to the expansion of the British Empire. Yes, we are talking about the discovery of new lands. Of new lands, extra information hai. So that is why the answer should be the discovery was. The subject is singular, so the verb that you require also is singular. Okay. The building of tall skyscrapers has or have increased in the past few years. Has. Why? Because the building is of tall skyscrapers, that is immaterial, extra information, modifiers. So you know that you're actually talking about the building which is singular. So you need a singular verb, has. Okay. Then next one, the actions of my friend is or are not very wise. Okay, of my friend, it is additional information. आशुतोष is क्यों बोला? Subject तो actions है ना? The actions is plural. So you use a plural verb are. Okay, this is rule number 6. Rule number 7. Rule number 7 states that indefinite pronouns are usually considered singular subjects and therefore they require singular verb forms. Now all of you know what is indefinite pronouns. Grammar review की class में मैंने कराया था. Those pronouns that are not specific to any person, they are called indefinite pronouns. और indefinite pronouns singular होता है. Okay. Now we know, हमें पता है, what do we know? We know that pronouns are those words that replace other nouns or pronouns. Instead of saying Rahul, Sumit, I say he, him. So these words, they are pronouns. However, when I use words like he and him, you know exactly who you're talking about. So pronouns like he, him, she, they, it, they are called definite pronouns. They are called personal pronouns because you know who we are talking about. But if there is any pronoun in which you are not referring to any specific person, such pronouns are called indefinite pronouns. An indefinite pronoun is one that is not specific about the thing to which it refers. Anyone is an example of an indefinite pronoun. And not anyone, not just anyone. There are so many others. और बहुत सारे indefinite pronouns हैं. जैसे, yeah, anyone, anybody, anything, everyone, everybody, everything, whatever, whoever, someone, somebody, something. no one, nothing, nobody, each, every, and you will see that all the pronouns that end in one, body and thing, they fall in this category. All of them are indefinite pronouns, and indefinite pronouns are usually singular. Singular होते हैं indefinite pronouns. So that is why whenever you use the word anyone के साथ हमेशा एक singular verb use करोगे. Anyone is acceptable. Anybody is acceptable. Anything is acceptable. No one is going to hurt you. You never say no one are going to hurt you. Similarly, we say keep quiet. Somebody is coming. You don't say somebody are coming. Okay. So rule number 7 states that indefinite pronouns are singular. That is why the verbs that you use should be singular. However, please remember that जैसे rules जिसने बनाए हैं उसने exceptions भी बनाए हैं. So there are also exceptions. Exceptions भी हैं, and this is where the complications start. So let us now talk about exceptions. Now it's not just rule number 7 that we're going to talk about. We are also going to talk about exceptions to rule number 6. There are certain exceptions to rule number 6 and rule number 7. Let's take a look at these exceptions. Please remember that there are 5 indefinite pronouns that can be either singular or plural depending on the context. इन पांचों के अलावा बाकी सारे के सारे indefinite pronouns हमेशा singular होंगे. Okay, but these 5 pronouns can be both singular as well as plural. You can remember these 5 pronouns with the use of the mnemonic sanam. Okay, sanam, which actually translates to 5 words: some, any, none, all, most. These 5 words, all of them are indefinite pronouns. ये पांचों indefinite pronouns हैं, और ये पांचों जो है ना, ये singular भी हो सकते हैं, plural भी हो सकते हैं. इनके अलावा बाकी सारे indefinite pronouns singular होते हैं, always. Okay. So this is the exception to rule number 7. This is the exception to rule number 7. Now the question that comes to your mind probably is, if these 5 words can be both singular as well as plural, then how to decide when they will when to use singular verb and when to use plural verb? Well, in that case you will have to break rule number 6. उसके लिए rule number 6 तोड़ना पड़ेगा आपको, ठीक है ना. इन 5 केसेस में आपको rule number 6 भी break करना पड़ेगा. So now question is, how can you tell if these sanam pronouns are singular or plural? So for that you will have to look at the of construction, which usually follows the pronoun. And you may recall that in rule number 6 you were supposed to ignore of constructions because they are misleading middlemen. But in the case of sanam pronouns, there is going to be an exception. Okay, exception होने वाला है उसमें. Sanam pronouns are the exceptions to this rule. What you're going to do, you will look at the object of the of construction to find out whether the subject is singular or plural, and accordingly you will use a verb. Right? Let me show you an example. Example दिखा दूँ मैं आपको. See, some of the money. Now of के बाद object क्या है? Money. Money is always singular. That is why the verb that you have used is singular. That is was. Some of the money was stolen from the wallet. We don't say some of the money were stolen from the wallet. Similarly, if you say some of the documents. Now documents is plural. That is why you use plural verb were. Some of the documents were stolen from the bank. Okay. Second exception to rule number 6 and 7. If there is any word that indicates portion, कोई भी word जो portions बताता है, for example words like percent, fraction, part, majority, ये तीन वर्ड सम ऑल नन हम ऑलरेडी कर चुके हैं सनम प्रोनाउन में. रिमाइंडर, these words that indicate portion, ऐसे words may be you are going to break rule number 6. Okay, and you are going to look at the of construction to find out whether the verb that you will use is going to be singular or plural. So ये दो एक्सेप्शन हैं, एक तो सनम प्रोनाउंस में एक्सेप्शन है और दूसरा जब भी कोई ऐसा वर्ड हो जो कि एक पार्ट एक पोर्शन के बारे में बात करता हो. सच वर्ड्स, ऐसे वर्ड्स के लिए ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन के बाद यू विल लुक एट द ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ द प्रीपोजिशन टू फाइंड आउट वेदर द subject whether the verb is going to be singular or plural. Now before moving forward, let me just answer Saurabh's question. Saurabh, you are saying, can we have an example where sanam pronoun is singular? Yes, I just showed you. ये तो रहा here on your screen. Saurabh. Okay. So if there is a word which indicates a portion and the object of the preposition is singular, you will use a singular verb. If the object of the preposition is plural, you will use a plural verb. Okay. For example, ये देखो 50%. Now 50% indicates a part. Okay, 50%. Then you have to look at the of construction. 50% of the what? Pie. Pie is singular. That is why you use a singular verb, has. Lakshya, you are saying portion. Portion word also contains word like majority. Yes. So Lakshya, what happened? A majority versus the majority, both are correct because वो context अलग-अलग है. Okay. Okay. Naman, can you not hear me? Naman, am I audible to you? Naman, can you hear me? Okay, I don't know where Naman has gone. Srinivas, your question is sanam are always followed by of. नहीं, not always. जरूरी नहीं है. For example, some people. Okay, Srinivas, some people. अब subject क्या हो गया? People. Because over here, if you write something like this, some people, अगर आपने ऐसे लिखा, then actually the subject is people. Subject is people. Some है ना, some adverb हो जाता है ऐसे situation में. If you remember adverb told you to what extent? To what extent? कितने लोग? All people या some people? Adverb हो जाता है उसमें. Then the question of subject verb agreement does not arise. Okay, the subject is people, so you will have to use plural verb. A majority of people है ना, people is plural, so R होना चाहिए. Shubhajit, R. And the majority is, yes. Because Lakshya, When you say the majority, it becomes collective noun. पूरा group एक साथ. And collective nouns are singular. Sagar, yes, it should have, yes. नहीं तो अगर वो ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं है तो फिर वो पोर्शन वाले वर्ड्स जो है ना वो एडजेक्टिव या एडवर्ब पे काम करते हैं. पीपल नॉट कलेक्टिव बट पीपल प्लूरल है ना. पीपल प्लूरल है ना, प्लूरल. सुभजीत, 2 people came to my house, 10 people came to my house. So collective people is not collective, people is plural. ठीक है? Okay. Now another example is where you have a plural subject. 50% of what? 50% of pies. Now pies is plural, so you have a plural verb. Have disappeared. Okay. 1/3 of the city. Now this is a portion. 1/3 of what? City. City is always plural, singular. So that is why you have a singular verb. 1/3 of the city is unemployed. But if you change this and say 1/3 of the people, okay, then what happens? 1/3 of what? People. People is plural. You use the plural verb are. One-third of the people of the city then also are, because the subject remains people. The subject remains people. Of the city is a modifier. Lakshya. Yes. Okay. So let's see. All of the pie is gone. All portion बताता है. Pie singular, so singular verb. All of the pies are gone. Pies is plural, so you have plural verb. Some of the pie is missing. Pie is singular, singular verb is. Some of the pies are missing because pies plural है. Okay, so this is rule number 1 to 7. Rule number 1 to 7 and their exceptions. Rule number 1 to 7 और उनके exceptions. Till now, anybody has any doubt? Okay, so let me take you then to rule number 8. Rule number 8 states that as a general rule, you will use a plural verb when there are 2 or more subjects and they are connected with the word and. It is immaterial whether both the subjects are singular or both are plural or one is plural, one is singular. The moment the connection is with the word and, जैसे ही and से होगा ना तो फिर आपको plural verb यूज करना पड़ेगा, चाहे दोनों subject singular हो, दोनों plural हो या उनमें से एक singular हो एक plural. This I believe you already know. ये तो आपको पहले से बताया. Okay, I hope so. For example, a car and a bike are my means of transportation. Similarly, Joe and his friends are going to the beach. Mathematics, history, and science are required high school subjects. Now see, singular, singular. ये दो singular हैं. One is singular, one is plural. And you have 3 singular here. 3 singular subjects connected with the word and. So in all the cases, you have plural verbs. ठीक है? But इसमें भी exceptions हैं. In rule number 8 also you have exceptions. And what is the exception? Sorry. Now what is the exception? Whenever the 2 subjects function as a single unit or item, then you are not going to use the plural verb. then you will use a singular verb. Now, what is the meaning of this? The meaning is something like this. अगर आप ये कहते हो सीता एंड गीता was a good movie, ये सीता एंड गीता एक्चुअली एक मूवी का एक नाम है. Even though सीता एंड गीता है, this is the name of one movie. That is why you use the word was and not were. Okay. Other examples, और example देता हूँ मैं. छोला and bhatura is tasty. And छोला and bhatura is name of the dish. It is the name of the dish. For example, fish and chips. Fish and chips is available. कल चाइनीज आज पंजाबी. हाँ तुषार, कल चाइनीज था आज पंजाबी है. ओके, इट्स अ नेम ऑफ अ डिश. इसीलिए ये एंड है ना, ये दोनों को जोड़ नहीं रहा, ये पहले से ही एक है. दिस वन, इसलिए यू यूज द वर्ड इज. अदर phrases like this include words like, fish and chips. Fish and chips is name of a dish. Bacon and eggs. Bacon and eggs is the name of dish. Research and development. Research and development के बाद हमेशा is लगाते हो. Research and development is really required in our country. AIMS and IIT, these institutions are not doing what they were supposed to do. So they lot of focus has to be given to research and development. So research and development is required in these institutions. You never say are required. So this is one exception when the two subjects function as a single unit or item, then they take a singular verb. ये पहला exception है. दूसरा भी exception है when two or more things separated by an and refer back to the same subject. अब देखो यहाँ पे redundancy होगी. Refer back नहीं होना चाहिए, refer होना चाहिए. When they refer to the same subject, then the verb will be singular. मतलब आपने दो या दो से ज्यादा चीजें यूज तो की हैं, and they are separated by the word and, but they refer to the same subject, which implies that subject is just one. In that case, the verb also will be singular. Let me just show you with an example. See, his fame and popularity, not are on the decline, because fame and popularity ये दोनों किसके हैं? एक ही पर्सन के हैं. Okay, but normally what we do is, अगर ऐसे लिखा हो his fame and his popularity, अगर यहाँ पे वापस his आ जाए ना, then what will happen? R होगा. Again, it will actually remain is ही रहेगा वो. क्यों? Because वो his तो same है. His fame and his popularity is on the decline. It will remain same because the subject is same. Okay, guys, please understand this. His nose and cheek is bleeding. Is bleeding. Are नहीं, is bleeding. This is tough. लक्ष्य ये tough क्यों है? Nose and cheek दोनों एक ही का है ना? एक ही का. ये थोड़ा सा complicated है, because normally this rule is a little complicated, because normally we're in the habit of using a plural verb. हाँ शशांक, what is bleeding, but किसका bleed हो रहा है? बात किसके बारे में कर रहे हो? एक ही इंसान है ना. Yes, but they belong to one person only. अब ऐसे तो मैं बोलूं किसका फेम और पॉपुलैरिटी डिक्लाइन पर है, तो वो सो डिक्लाइन क्या कर रहा है, तो आप तो बोलोगे आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट हिज, आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट फेम एंड पॉपुलैरिटी, सो सेम यू विद द सेम लॉजिक वो नोज एंड चीक वाला भी आएगा. Srinivas, you are saying subject in this case is fame and popularity. नहीं, फेम एंड पॉपुलैरिटी ये दोनों जो है ना, ये दो ऐसी चीजें हैं जो एक ही आदमी को रेफर कर रहे हैं ना, हिज को. सो एक ही इंसान का है ना ये फेम एंड पॉपुलैरिटी. नहीं लक्ष्य, हिज फ्रेंड एंड एनिमी इज कमिंग होगा, आर कमिंग नहीं. यही तो मैं समझा रहा हूँ लक्ष्य. Okay, you are saying if one person is his friend and one person is the enemy. Okay, if there are two separate people, then you should rephrase the sentence. Sentence को थोड़ा सा different तरीके से लिखना चाहिए. His friend as well as his enemy, या uh, uh, his friend along with his enemy. मेरे ख्याल से ऐसा कुछ होना चाहिए. ओके ओके. हाँ तो सौरभ मैं कह तो रहा हूँ सब सिंगुलर सिंगुलर ही तो होना चाहिए. Is doesn't sound correct somehow. Yeah, I know. I know it does not sound correct. Okay. R means two people are coming. Yes, yes, Sagar. Okay. Okay. Second example. Second example, if you actually look on the screen, it says Amte, the social activist and reformer. What? Are dead bologe या is bologe? You will say is dead. Why? Because the activist and social reformer both refer to one person Amte, even though and is used here. And yes, that is modifier. It's more like a modifier. Sagar, you were saying, is this same as one single unit? Huh? Yes. Yes, Sagar. Okay. Okay. Rule number 8 के बाद we'll come to rule number 9. Rule number 9. Sometimes his subject is separated from the verb by words such as, along with, in addition to, as well as, accompanied by, together with, including, besides. These words, ये जो words है ना, इनके लिए एक term है. It's called additives. इनको additives कहते हैं. Additives का मतलब है ये extra information add करते हैं, मतलब ये modifiers introduce करते हैं. Very simple. Which means that if there is a phrase that starts with any of these words, then you need to ignore them. Okay? So, ignore these expressions when you are trying to find out whether to use a singular or a plural verb. For example, the politician along with the newsman, क्या होगा? Is or are expected shortly. Should be is. Okay. His friends together with his brother is or are going to the beach. Are going to the beach. Why? Because ये सब modifier हैं. Now over here, what is happening is that I have put the additives in between the commas. Commas के बीच में लगा दिया मैंने, but वहाँ पे जरूरी नहीं है कि हर चीज comma के बीच में हो. Okay. Excitement as well as nervousness is or are the cause of her shaking. Is mathematics, in addition to history and science, is or are a required subject. वल्लभ गर्ग आर किसके लिए बोला? मनीष आर किसके लिए बोला? देखो ना, प्लीज सी. नहीं, मैथमेटिक्स सिंगुलर है. मैथमेटिक्स इज सिंगुलर. सब्जेक्ट्स के नेम सिंगुलर माने जाते हैं ना. दैट इज व्हाई द वर्ब दैट यू विल यूज इज गोइंग टू बी इज. Okay. Rule number 9. Then we come to rule number 10. Okay. What does rule number 10 say? Rule number 10 says that the expression the number is always followed by a singular verb, whereas the expression a number is always followed by a plural verb. The number मतलब verb आपको singular चाहिए. A number अगर use किया means you need a plural verb. Okay. जैसे for example here the number of people we need to hire is 13, not are 13, because the number is always singular. A number of people have written in about this subject. So a number is plural, so you have the plural verb have. The number of hard-working students in this class is quite large, and I'm sure many of you think यहाँ पे are होना चाहिए. Yeah, Shashank, I'll go back to the last slide. Wait, what happened? Okay, okay. A number of students in this class are hard workers. So the number मतलब होता है singular, a number का मतलब होता है plural. Remember that. This is rule number 10. Okay, rule number 10, 7 and 8 more rules to go. So let's quickly look at rule number 11. Okay, another thing is that many people use the expression numbers of. Numbers of बहुत लोग use करते हैं. Frankly speaking, according to British English, numbers of is incorrect expression. ठीक है, numbers of incorrect expression होता है. We should stick to the expression number of. But अब यहाँ पे problem ये है कि GMAT does not follow British English. Okay, GMAT को कोई मतलब नहीं है British English से. That is why GMAT में numbers of अगर आएगा, you cannot eliminate it. GMAT considers numbers of to be correct. Please remember this. But when we talk about cat, then in cat, remember numbers of अगर आया तो ये incorrect expression है. It should be number of. But GMAT में ऐसा नहीं है. Okay. So the numbers of dogs in Montana are steadily increasing. This sentence is going to be wrong according to cat. This sentence is going to be right according to GMAT. Okay. So it actually according to cat should be the number of dogs in Montana is steadily increasing. Okay. Number then no that is also right, Sagar. वो भी right है. Number of is also right according to GMAT, but GMAT considers the expression the numbers of also to be correct. Okay, why? Because because in the US this expression is acceptable, एंड जीमैट जीआरई ये सारे एग्जामिनेशन यूएस के हैं, इसलिए एक्सेप्टेबल है। नो 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 सागर, ओल्डर और एल्डर वाला नहीं है वो, ये मैंने चेक भी किया था। ओल्डर एंड एल्डर में कोई फर्क नहीं है, विद ओनली वन डिफरेंस दैट एल्डर इज ओनली यूज फॉर पीपल, whereas older you can use with other things also. Otherwise, there is no difference. You can use them interchangeably. I forgot to tell you, but मैंने चेक किया था ये older और elder वाला। ओके ओके लक्ष्य, आपने क्या बोला? Numbers of dash with are, मतलब what are you trying to say? अभिनव, ये तो पेंडोरा बॉक्स है। यू आर सेइंग कैट ऑलवेज फॉलोज ब्रिटिश इंग्लिश। आई डोंट नो, यू टेल मी, हु नोस दैट? दैट इज समथिंग दैट वी कैन ओनली गेस। हाउ डू वी नो? दे नेवर टेल अस। द नंबर्स ऑफ डॉग्स according to GMAT it should be R. Okay, and Abhinav, if you come to know what English cat follows, then please let me know. This is just an assumption that we normally make. English faculty और मैथ फैकल्टी जो अभी जो 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 ट्रेंड चलता हुआ आ रहा है पिछले सालों से, उसको देखकर कुछ कुछ हमें लगता है कि कैट वो ब्रिटिश इंग्लिश फॉलो करते हैं, बट विथ सर्टेनिटी, विथ सर्टिफिकेट एंड गारंटी तो मैं कह नहीं सकता। ओके ओके, so let's not be held up here. Let's come to rule number 11. Abhinav, he is elder to me, correct होगा, he is older to me भी correct होगा। ठीक है। सिद्धांत, the number of dogs, number of dogs is होना चाहिए ना, R कैसे होगा सिद्धांत? GMAT के अकॉर्डिंगली is होना चाहिए। सिद्धांत, मैंने ये बोला कि GMAT में तीनों एक्सप्रेशन एक्सेप्टेबल है, द नंबर, अ नंबर, द नंबर्स, ये तीनों एक्सेप्टेबल हैं। कैट में द नंबर्स एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं है। ओके अभिनव, एल्डर ओल्डर टू एंड दैन भी चलता है, यस यस चलता है, ये मैंने अच्छे से चेक किया था, दोनों चलता है। ओके, रूल नंबर 11। ओके सागर, सागर यू थिंक ओल्डर कैन बी यूज फॉर पर्सन्स एज वेल? यस, the difference between elder and older is that elder can be used only for people. Older, apart from being used for people, can also be used for other things. This forest is older than mankind, बोल सकते हैं ना? Can you say this forest is elder than mankind? Okay, so let's come to rule number 11. And what is rule number 11? Collective nouns are singular. Okay, collective nouns singular होते हैं, remember that. Collective nouns singular होते हैं। Collective noun क्या होता है? It is a noun that looks singular, it does not end in an S, but in reality it refers to a group of people. But now because it's one entity, that is why it is always considered to be singular. So some examples of collective nouns are words like administration, army, audience, class, crowd, faculty, orchestra, team. So you always say the faculty is in a meeting. You never say the faculty are in the meeting. You always say the audience is very happy with the performance. You never say the audience are very happy with the performance. Okay? Okay. Now, collective people collective noun कैसे है? कलेक्टिव नाउन का मतलब है कि वो थोड़ा सा उनमें कुछ 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 चीजें यूनिक है ना, कुछ चीजें सिमिलर है, कुछ यूनिक, जैसे आर्मी, आर्मी किसका कलेक्शन है? सोल्जर्स का कलेक्शन है। पीपल किसका कलेक्शन है बताओ? गिव मी द आंसर। द वर्ड पीपल किसका कलेक्शन है? किसी का भी नहीं ना. So that is why people is not collective noun. Okay, okay, okay. Now, please, one very important information here I would like to give you. Even though 99% of the times collective nouns are singular, but please remember कि आजकल ऐसे बहुत सारे instances हैं in which collective nouns are being used in a plural sense also. काफी लोग इनको plural sense में भी use करते हैं. I'll just show you. So अगर एग्जामिनेशन में ये आता है तो आपको बहुत ध्यान से देखना होगा. ठीक है, कैसे देखोगे मैं I just explain this to you. Collective nouns are always considered singular and therefore they will require singular verb forms. This is going to be applicable in almost 99% of the situations. But let us also look at that 1% situation where it's not applicable. Okay. So you always say the crowd is cheering as the home team takes the field. The crowd are cheering होता नहीं है. Our army is attacking the enemy होता है. The staff is in a meeting, not are in a meeting. The faculty is busy बोलते हैं. The faculty are busy नहीं बोलते. Okay. Please note, a group, a set, a sum, or a collection of something, when discussed as a group, is always considered singular and therefore it takes singular verb. Which means, कौन-कौन से words हैं यहाँ पे? Group, set, sum, collection. Remember these 4 words. Group, set, sum, collection. When they are discussed as a group, तो फिर वो collective noun हो जाते हैं and that is why they take singular verb forms. Okay. Now to answer Shubhajit Ganguly's question, faculty and faculties are not the same. These are two different words. Faculty, faculty teachers के group को कहते हैं. Faculties are your abilities. Abilities. Mental faculties मतलब आपके दिमाग की ability. Okay, Shubhajit. Okay. Personalities. Personalities word जानते हैं आप? Do you know this word? Everybody knows the meaning of the word personalities. Hello? Yes? Okay. Okay. Everybody is saying yes. You know the meaning of the word personalities. Okay, but अगर मैंने ये बोला I don't like all these personalities. If I use this word in a sentence, I don't like all these personalities, does it imply that I'm talking about people? Yes or no? Traits. I'm talking about people or people's traits. Okay. Not really. Okay. I mean, no. It's quite possible that I'm talking about something else. Why? Because the word personalities. Please remember, the word personalities has one another meaning. जिसका मतलब होता है abusive language, गालियाँ. So I resent your personalities का मतलब है I don't like all the abusive language that you are using. अब डिक्शनरी में चेक कर लो, the word personalities has second meaning. Second meaning उसका क्या है? Abusive language. So बहुत फर्क हो जाता है. Faculty and faculties are two different things. वैसे personalities, even though spelling सब कुछ same है, but two very different meanings are there. Okay. Now I just told you जैसे group होता है वो हमेशा singular है. So my group is well behaved. Okay, this group is of 4th graders. That is a modifier. Extra information है. A class. Now a class. I'm talking about a class. A class is difficult to handle. Now this class is of 90 students. ये immaterial है. There may very well have been 80 students. But if you're talking about the students, not the class, if you say the students in the class, then you would have used the word verb, because now you're talking about the students. Now these students are in the class or out in the playground. That becomes extra information. Okay, the entire amount of 200 crores was spent on infrastructure. This example we have already taken a look at. Amount, ये amount 200 crores का है, that is immaterial. Amount was spent on infrastructure होना चाहिए. Okay. Okay. 3 years is a long time. 3 years is a long time. Why I have used the word is, not are? Because whenever you talk about the sum of time जब भी आएगा ना, sum of time या sum of money जब भी आता है, then the verb is always singular. Remember that. ये एक separate rule में मैं आपको बताऊंगा. This is a separate rule that we have. Okay. 10 million is too much to pay. Now 10 million is a sum of money. 10 million R नहीं बोलते. ठीक है ना? 10 million is too much to pay. Okay. Now I told you 10 million rupees फिर change हो जाएगा ना? No, rupees becomes plural. Okay. But when a group, when a collection, or when a set is discussed, and the intention is to lay emphasis on not the group per se, but on its members, in that case it is considered to be plural, and hence it takes a plural verb. So there are situations in which collective nouns can take plural verbs. Please remember. For example, if I say the police are still looking for him, there is nothing wrong. But otherwise, the police is actually collective noun. Police तो पूरे group है ना. But over here, if I say the police are still looking for him, and not say the police is still looking for him, or if I say the police have arrested the perpetrator, I don't say the police has arrested the perpetrator. It implies that I'm not talking about the group per se. I'm talking about the members of the group police. That means I'm talking about policemen. So this word in effect becomes policemen. Policemen are still looking for him. Policemen have arrested the perpetrator. Okay, but generally the form is going to be the third one that you see. The police is corrupt, because the entire group is called police. Now question is what to do in an examination. अगर examination में ऐसा एक sentence आ गया, find out whether this sentence has an error or does not have an error. और वो sentence कौन सा है? Number 1. The police are still looking for him. What are you going to do? क्या करोगे in that case? In that case, you cannot mark it as wrong. उसको आप wrong mark नहीं कर सकते unless they tell you what is the intended meaning. अगर वहां पर intended meaning लिखा हुआ है that over here the meaning is the individual police officers and not the group, then the word are is okay. But if over here if the intended meaning is the entire group and not the individual members, in that case you will not use the plural verb. Siddhant, the police has. हाँ, it's right. Police तो singular entity है ना. हाँ, it is right, Siddhant. कभी सुना नहीं है? Okay, just a minute. Abhinav, you are saying the police is still looking for him is wrong. Why? Why it's wrong, Abhinav? No, it's right. Generally police singular ही होता है. Okay. बट सौरभ अगर आप लिखोगे ऑल स्टेट पुलिस आर करप्ट, you are not talking about the community, you're talking about the individual members of that community. Saurabh, that is why आपने R use किया. When you say all state police are corrupt, what you actually want to say is all state policemen are corrupt, and not the entire group. In exam, Sagar, you have asked. In exam, we have to judge by contextual meaning. No, not exactly. You if they do not tell you what is the intended meaning, intended meaning क्या है, अगर ये नहीं बताया हुआ तो फिर आप इसको राइट मार्क कर सकते हो. अगर वहाँ इंटेंडेड मीनिंग बताया हुआ है तो उस इंटेंडेड मीनिंग के अकॉर्डिंगली आपको चूज करना होगा कि इसमें एक सिंगुलर वर्ब आना चाहिए या प्लूरल वर्ब आना चाहिए. ओके सागर. Okay, wait, hold on. Sanchit, you are saying the faculty are on a strike is right by same rule. Yes, it is right, but in that case, it does not mean the entire group. It means members. It implies the faculty members are on a strike, not the entire group. Sanchit. Siddhant. In the second sentence, the police has arrested the perpetrator will be right, and 99% of the times has ही use होता है पुलिस के साथ. Okay, Manish, yes, both are correct. The police are still looking, the police is still looking, but दोनों का meaning change हो जाता है. अगर आप लिखते हो the police are still looking, उसका मतलब है the policemen are still looking. अगर आप लिखते हो the police is still looking, मतलब पूरी पुलिस फोर्स अभी ढूंढ रही है. So meaning changes. Okay. Sagar, intended means explicitly. Yes, Sagar. वो अगर उन्होंने एक्सप्लिसिटली वहां बताया है कि इस सेंटेंस का मीनिंग ये मैसेज कन्वे करना था, इन दैट केस आपको उसके अकॉर्डिंग चलना होगा. Now, अभिनव, यू आर सेइंग अगर एग्जामिनेशन में ऐसा हुआ तो क्या करोगे? द पुलिस इज और आर लुकिंग फॉर हिम, व्हाट टू मार्क. अगर ऐसा एग्जामिनेशन में हुआ, इफ यू हैव अ सेंटेंस व्हिच सेज द पुलिस इज और आर स्टिल लुकिंग फॉर हिम, और फिर वहां पर कोई इंटेंडेड मीनिंग भी नहीं बता रखा, what the author wants to say as far as this sentence is concerned, अगर वो नहीं बता रखा, then you will assume that it is singular and you will mark is, because in 99% of the situations collective nouns are singular. So you will say, you will mark the police is still looking for him. Abhinav, did I answer your question? Sanchit, can we use plural when we are referring to part of the group? Why not? Why not? The part of the group can contain more than one person. Okay, Sanchit? Okay. Quantity is singular. Quantity is singular. ऐसा क्यों नहीं? तो मैंने कब बोला? मैंने बोला sum of time and sum of money. क्वांटिटी वर्ड नहीं यूज किया मैंने सागर. सम बोला मैंने. सम ऑफ मनी और सम ऑफ टाइम इज सिंगुलर. हाँ, 3 years इज. 3 years आर नहीं बोलोगे, 3 years इज, क्योंकि 3 years कैसे बनता है? 1 को 3 बार सम करके. And well, yes, what you're trying to say, 10 million rupees, 10 million rupees is होगा कि आर होगा? वेट, ये क्वेश्चन अभी भी किसी ने पूछा था. 10 million rupees, अब यहाँ पे मैंने अगर रुपीज लगा दिया तो this also, but this is also sum of money, right? 10 million sum of money R. नहीं, आई थिंक इजी होना चाहिए. आई थिंक लास्ट पहले मैंने आर बोला था, बट आई बिलीव इसका आंसर इज होना चाहिए। 10 million rupees इज होना चाहिए सागर। लक्ष्य, आई थिंक वो आर मैंने गलत बोला था, इट शुड बी इज, बिकॉज 10 million rupees सम ऑफ मनी है। ठीक है, इज होना चाहिए। सागर, कैन वी generalize or not? In what sense? That whenever you have a quantity, it is going to be singular? Yes, okay. Whenever we have a quantity, well, I'll have to think about that, because there are so many exceptions that I cannot say right now that with 100% surety, हाँ या ना. But I think what you are saying seems logical to me. क्वांटिटी है तो सम ही होगा, तो आई बिलीव उस लॉजिक से तो सिंगुलर ही होना चाहिए। सागर, बट बट मुझे एक बार चेक करने दो, ठीक है ना? बट ये आई बिलीव कि क्वांटिटी है तो सम है, और इफ दैट क्वांटिटी इज ऑफ, यू टॉकिंग अबाउट मनी और टाइम के बारे में बात कर रहे हो, इन दैट केस आई बिलीव इट विल बी सिंगुलर। हाँ अभिनव, दैट इज व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू से, हर केस में ट्रू नहीं हो सकता है, इट्स क्वाइट पॉसिबल। सो एक्सेप्शन ढूंढने पड़ेंगे ना पहले। 5 years have passed। ओके, आप बताओ 5 years have passed या हैव passed? हैज, अभिनव, has 5 years, 5 years is time, sum of time. 5 years has passed। has होना चाहिए, not have। okay, no, no Ashna, I think it should be has। 5 years has passed। अभी हमने देखा था ना, wait, 3 years is a long time, sum of time, so 5 years I believe is sum of time, so I think it should be has। okay, so other examples, if there is a sentence which says the class were divided on the issue, now even though class वैसे तो entity होता है, it's a group, but I'm using were, the class were divided on the issue, so over here the meaning implies that I'm talking about the students of the class, but if I say a class of 90 students was difficult to take, so I'm talking about the class as an entity, that is why I use the word was। okay, number 6 says the team are always fighting among themselves, जबकि team तो singular होता है, but in 6 the intended meaning is the team members। अगर ऐसे लिखा हुआ आता सेंटेंस, इसका intended meaning होता है the team members। and like I told you earlier, sentences with groups as plurals are rare। rare है, so whenever you are in doubt, जब कुछ भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा, then you should consider a group or a set as singular। but अगर वहाँ पे intended meaning दिया हुआ है, and when you read the intended meaning, आपको लगता है कि वहाँ पे meaning ऐसा बता रखा है in which you are talking about the members of the group, in that case it can be plural, otherwise it will be singular। okay, okay, rule number 12, if a subject is preceded by these words, each, every, neither, either, then it requires a singular verb form। सब्जेक्ट से पहले आने चाहिए ये वर्ड्स, तो फिर सिंगुलर वर्ब फॉर्म होता है, ठीक है ना? For example, every dog has paws. Dog dog is the subject. उसके पहले every है. That is why singular. अब देखो, every dog and cat has paws. दो subjects हैं dog and cat, but इनके पहले every है. So you will use the singular verb. Each of these shirts is pretty, even though now the subject is plural, shirts. But because the word each precedes shirts, that is why the verb is. Each of these shirts is pretty. Neither of the shirts is pretty. फिर से shirts plural है, but neither precede करता है. That is why you have a singular verb. Because they refer to singular thing. Yes, 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 Tushar, you're right. Each of the dishes is fine. दोनों में से कोई भी डिश ले आओ, दोनों में से कोई भी एक. So either of the dishes is fine, not are fine. Okay. But in rule number 12, remember that when these words follow a subject, then they have no impact on the verb form. They have to precede the subject. Subject के बाद आए तो verb form पे कोई impact नहीं होगा. Subject से पहले आने चाहिए. For example, they each are great tennis players. Now over here the subject is they. इसके बाद each आ रहा है. इसलिए verb form पे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. They is plural, are is also plural. Okay. I am saying that अगर ये word each, every, neither, either अगर ये subject से पहले हो, then the verb that you need is going to be singular. Otherwise, अगर ये बाद में आते हैं, तो they will have no impact on the verb form. Shivam, each of them is yes, each of them is a great tennis player. Is होना चाहिए, not are. Abhinav, they both are great tennis players. Huh, that is also right. That is also right. They both are great tennis players is also right. Okay. Rule number 13. अभी बताया sums of money or periods of time के साथ use singular verb. Use a singular verb with sums of money or periods of time. For example, $10 is a high price to pay. 5 years is the maximum sentence for that offense. Okay, this I think we have already discussed. Rule number 13. Rule number 14. Things that are uncountable are always singular and therefore they always take singular verbs. Uncountable चीजें हमेशा singular होती हैं. Okay? If you do not know whether something is singular or something or whether something is countable or uncountable, अगर इसमें problem है, then you should perform the counting test. मतलब उसको count करके देख लो. 1 2 3 4 ऐसे count करके देख लो. For example, money countable है या uncountable है, उसको count करके देख लो. 1 money, 2 money, 3 money, 4 money, 5 money, 6 money. Can you say that? You can't say. You cannot say give me 6 money. So money is not countable. Water, 1 water, 2 water, 3 water, 4 water. You cannot say that. So water is not countable. Honesty, 1 honesty, 2 honesty, 3 honesty. You can't say that. Okay, but book, 1 book, 2 books, 3 books, 4 books. You can say that. So books countable hai. So the question is, if something is uncountable, then it is always singular and that is why you should use singular verbs. For example, the money has been earmarked for the project. The money has been earmarked नहीं होना चाहिए. The water of the ocean tastes salty. Similarly, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. All uncountable objects, beauty, water, money, information. Information has been disseminated. Information has been disseminated नहीं होना चाहिए. Okay. Okay. Rule number 15. Rule number 15. When each of two subjects, let us say there are two subjects and both the subjects are both the subjects have an article before them. दोनों subject के पहले एक article है, then the verb will be plural. Why? Because then you are talking about two different individuals or things. But if only the first subject has an article preceding it, अगर सिर्फ first subject के पहले ही article है, then it is singular. Then the verb will be singular because then you're talking about the same person. So this is easy. ये बहुत आसान है. For example, let me show you. Here, the politician and the businessman. अब यहाँ पे क्या है? The politician and the businessman. ये article दोनों के पहले. इसका मतलब they are two different people. ये दो अलग लोग हैं. That is why you have the word have. But if I say the politician and businessman, so the article is before this one, not before the second one. It implies that ये दोनों एक ही हैं. That is why you use the word has and not have. Okay. Rule number 16. Sometimes there are sentences. कुछ ऐसे sentences होते हैं और ये बहुत favorite sentences हैं ये GMAT और CAT के. Sentence होगा something like this. He is one of the dash. Who or that. Okay. The politician and businessman is coming होना चाहिए शशांक, क्योंकि वो एक ही है. I think इसके बारे में हमने पहले भी बात किया था. जब भी and हो and they refer to the same person तो फिर singular होता है. How do you know कि वो singular है? वो एक ही person को refer करते हैं. Article नहीं है उनके पहले. अगर दोनों का common article है, इसका मतलब वो एक ही person को refer करते हैं. शशांक, you think plural है? Businessmen, the politician. नहीं तो फिर ये then you have written the sentence in a wrong way. The politician and the businessman होना चाहिए. You cannot simply write the politician and businessman. The politician and the businessman होना चाहिए. Only then it is going to be correct. Okay, because they can't refer to the same person. Yes. Okay, now this one is a pretty important. Rule number 16. So they are going to give you sentences in which they will write something like this. He is one of the blah 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 blah. ऐसे सिचुएशन में क्या करना है? देखो, in general remember the following structure for such questions. ऐसे questions में verb ज्यादातर plurally होता है. ऐसे होगा one, he is one of the, then there will be a noun. This noun will be plural. He is one of the students. He is one of the actors. ठीक है ना? There will be a noun here. उसके बाद ये दोनों में से कोई एक word होना बहुत जरूरी है. Either there is the word that or there is the word who. इन दोनों में से कोई एक word होना जरूरी है. If that is the case, then the verb that you will use is going to be plural. Plural. Please take a look. If you have sentences like these, अगर ऐसे sentences हैं, then what you're going to do? Then you're going to choose a verb that is plural. But condition is that ये होना चाहिए. That और who, इन दोनों में से कोई एक word होना चाहिए. Otherwise, this rule does not apply. Okay, let me show you. He is one of the students. ये plural ना, one of the students who. That is why the verb that you use is plural. Any of the members who. ये who है. One of the members or any of the members who disagree. Plural. Members plural. या who या that अगर आया, then the verb that you will use will be plural. So any of the members who disagree may leave the committee. This is one of the questions that are incorrect. Is incorrect nahi. One of the questions that are incorrect. ऐसे वाले बहुत टेस्ट होते हैं. ठीक है ना, ये one of the students, one of the questions, one of the books. Okay. Is this clear? Yes, in that case, subject becomes questions. You are right. In that case, the subject becomes questions. Okay. Now, however, please do not confuse this construction with the one that I'm going to show you. अभी मैंने जिसके बारे में बात किया and the one that I'm going to show you, इन दोनों में थोड़ा difference है. अगर कोई ऐसा है, one of the chairs, और फिर इसके बाद that या who word नहीं है, अगर ये दोनों में से कोई एक नहीं है, in that case the verb has to be singular. So this rule applies. वो वाला rule तभी apply होगा जब वहां पर that या who word हो, otherwise वो singular ही होगा. It is only when the plural noun is followed by the words that or who that the singular verb changes into plural. One of the chairs that I bought are broken. शशांक. सुनने में गलत लगता है ना, सुनने में गलत लगता है. One of the chairs that I bought are broken होना चाहिए. I know it sounds funny, but that is the rule. Okay. Okay. Rule number 17. सबसे important rule. Whenever you are in doubt, there is a 99% possibility that the verb is going to be singular. Okay. Remember, whenever you are in doubt, सारे rule का, all 16 rules का एक rule, whenever you are in doubt, there is a 99% possibility कि जो verb होगा वो singular होगा. तो आपको अगर guess भी करना हो तो singular verb पे guess करना. Is this clear? Okay. Easy rule, yes. Because you just see, आप अगर ध्यान से देखो all the rules, only one or two situations में plural हमने use किया है. Otherwise, everywhere we have used singular. So majority of the times, what you actually use is singular. So if there is a situation in which you have doubt, then in all probability, I'm not saying that it will always be correct, but yes, in all probability, the verb should be singular. And Shashank is saying because we'll always be in doubt, therefore rule number 17 is the most important rule. Okay, Sagar, you are saying, but cat usually picks exceptions, isn't it? No, not really. No. ऐसा कुछ नहीं, Sagar. ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है. Okay. Okay. So confusing subjects are more often singular than plural. Okay, and therefore they usually require singular verb forms. But it was very important that I take you through all the rules. That is why I made you sit through this, horrible class, I believe. But it was important. So these 17 rules, based on these 17 rules, we don't have much time. So what I'll do is फटाफट दो चार एक questions मुझे बताओ इसके आंसर क्या होने चाहिए. Uh, for example, the traveling salesman was dismayed to learn that neither his sons nor his daughter were interested in moving. Is this sentence right? Okay, no, it's not right. Why? Because neither nor hai, then you have two subjects. One is plural, one is singular. And the verb is closer to the subject that is singular. That is why you need a singular verb, which is was. Okay. Question number two. I was so thirsty that either of the two drinks were fine with me. Okay. Either. The word either precedes the word drinks. So, जैसे either precede करता है, then the verb has to be singular. Was fine with me. Okay? Okay. A number of players on the team have improved since last session. It is correct. It is correct. Why? A number. A number is plural always. So there is no error. Okay. Jack, along with some of his closest friends. What? It cannot be are sharing a limo to the prom because this information, this is an additive. So you're actually talking about Jack. That is why answer should be is. Okay, question number 5. There is, according to my doctor, many courses of treatment available to me. Now, according to my doctor, ये additive है. Many courses of treatment is available नहीं होना चाहिए. It should be are available because there are many courses. Question number 5. Question number 6. Just around the corner is a bakery and a supermarket. Not correct. It is not correct. There are two things. A bakery and a supermarket. दोनों के आगे आर्टिकल है. दोनों के आगे आर्टिकल है. इसका मतलब ये दो अलग अलग चीजें हैं. There are two separate things. Uh, they are joined with the word and. So you cannot use is. You will have to use are. Just around the corner. Are a bakery and a supermarket. Okay. Number 7. The young bride, as well as her husband, were amazed by the generosity of the wedding guests. Yes, because you're talking about the young bride, as well as the husband is an additive, so it should not be were, it should be was. It should be was. Okay. Neither she nor her parents understands the challenging math problem. Okay. Neither nor, you have two subjects, one is singular, one is plural, and the verb is closer to the subject which is plural. So the verb has to be plural. So you have to use understand and not understands. Okay. So now I'm going to, we have some time. I hope you don't mind if we extend the session a little bit. ओके मैं चार पांच और थोड़ा क्वेश्चन करते हैं थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्टी लेवल ऊपर करते हैं ठीक है आई जस्ट गिव यू एन एक्सरसाइज ऑन सब्जेक्ट वर्ब एग्रीमेंट कैन यू ऑल सी दिस या ओके नाउ अब देखो थोड़ा सा जीमैट में कैसे पैटर्न आता है कभी कभी कैट में भी आता है दे आर गोइंग टू गिव यू सेंटेंसेस in which a part of the sentence is going to be underlined. Beneath each sentence, there will be four different ways of phrasing the underlined part. You will have to choose the best alternative from among the four. Okay? For example, if you actually look at this one, it says, although a surge in retail sales have raised hopes that there is recovery finally underway. So whatever error is there, if there is an error, it is in the underlying portion. Okay, all of you are saying D, why? Okay, because the subject over here is a surge. A surge. Now this surge is in retail sales, that is immaterial. Okay, so a surge has bhi hona chahiye, have bhi hona chahiye. It should be has. Has raised hopes. So answer should be D. Okay, very good. Number two, please take a look. Okay, very good. All of you are saying that it should be C. Yes, it should be C because actually talking about the resulting flow pattern. Now, इसके बाद ये सारा का सारा information जो है ना ये all this information is actually modifier, extra information. So the resulting flow pattern are known as standing waves में होना चाहिए. The resulting flow pattern is known as standing waves. And you have is here. You also have is in this last one, but that changes the meaning a little bit. The sentence meaning changes. That is why your answer is C. Anybody has a doubt? Question 1, 2? No. Okay, good. Question 3. Okay. Yes. Answer should be E. Why it should be E? Because he says the predominating industries and so this is one and number two the regulatory environment. They both what they determine, not determines. They determine. So all options that have determines gone. This is gone. This is gone, and number one is definitely gone. So you have determined in two options, number B as well as number E. Okay. Now why did you choose number E? Because of the word all. All states face similar industrial waste problems. यहाँ पर है, each state faces a similar industrial waste problem. If you actually choose number B, then you are changing it. Problems को problem बना रहे हो. That is why you should not mark number B. There is also wrong. Okay. Number 4. You need to correct the following sentences if necessary, and you need to give reasons for your corrections. Okay, answer should be was because you're talking about the result. It is the result of blah 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 blah. This is all past information. So actually, what you're talking about is the result. The result were नहीं होना चाहिए. The result was. Okay, good. लक्ष्य the results were होता तो हो जाता हाँ. But results word नहीं है ना. Okay, question number 5. Neither his brother nor his sister were नहीं होना चाहिए was because neither nor है both are singular that is why you need a singular verb there. Okay, good. Question 6. Okay, actually talking about a necklace. So a necklace was now this necklace is of diamonds. It was presented by friends of the bride. All this is immaterial information. So actually talking about the necklace, that is why it was. And Srinivas, you are saying Rule 17 works. Yeah, in most of the cases it works. But when you want it to work, it will not work. Number 7. Number 7. Lakshya, it's not correct. जब भी each, every, neither या either subject के पहले आता है, then the verb will be singular. So neither of these books is any good to me, not are any good to me. Question number 8. Question 8. You are talking about the whole block. Now this block is of buildings. It included 2 furniture stores and a drapery, blah 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 blah. Were named. The block was destroyed in the fire. So yes, it should be was. अभी तक सारे singular ही आ रहे हैं. I think question number 9 में कुछ error है क्योंकि ये सब्जेक्ट वर्ब एग्रीमेंट पे क्वेश्चन ही नहीं है. Actually, this is a question on pronoun. We can leave question number 9 because in question number 9 he's saying everyone try to do their work नहीं होना चाहिए everyone his or her होना चाहिए because everyone is singular so their नहीं होना चाहिए but I think this is not subject verb agreement question. This is a question on pronoun. So let's leave question 9. Let's come to question 10. 10, 11, 12. Okay. Now see, the board, which is a collective noun. यहाँ पे was use कर रहे हो, यहाँ पे their use कर रहे हो, है ना? Their support, their support का मतलब है you're talking about the board members. So over here it should be the board. Either you change it like this, इसको were बनाओ, or if you do not want to make it were, you want to keep it was, then you need to change there and you need to write its support. Okay, in the examination, you are not asked to correct it. You're not asked to correct it. You just have to find out whether it has an error or does not have an error. So you will mark it as having error. United shows collective lakshya. There will also be wrong. You're saying united shows collective. No, the board members were united in their support. What is wrong? द बोर्ड मैंने बोला ना कोई भी कलेक्टिव नाउन को अगर मैं इंडिविजुअल मेंबर्स के बारे में बात कर रहा हूँ तो मैं प्लूरल वर्ब यूज कर सकता हूँ. हाउ डू यू नो वेदर यू टॉकिंग अबाउट द बोर्ड एज वन एंटिटी और द बोर्ड मेंबर्स? ओके लक्ष्य. सो दोनों में से कोई एक सिचुएशन होना चाहिए, या तो सिंगुलर लो या प्लूरल लो, बट दोनों सिचुएशन में ये रॉन्ग है. दैट इज व्हाई यू विल मार्क इट इज रॉन्ग. Abhinav, you were saying members लिखना is not necessary with board. Yes, it is not necessary. 11. Question number 11. Okay. This is one of the most interesting novels that ये last 16 rule था ये. So has नहीं होना चाहिए, it should be have. 12th. Yes, it should be requires. It should be requires a special kind of that. Each, because the word each precedes dogs, so the word that you need is requires. Okay. Now I'll give you 3 questions at once. I'll just be back in 2 minutes. Okay, number 13. But the number of delays are is as annoying and inexplicable as we fear. Okay. 14th. Now, the crafting of miniature enamel boxes, which was so popular 2 centuries ago, has been revived. Because you're talking about the crafting, it should be has been revived in England. Now, which was so popular is correct because it refers to the enamel boxes. Boxes plural hai. So, which were so popular 2 centuries ago? There's nothing wrong here. The wrong portion is here in has. And last question for today, question number 15. Inspired by the theories of French philosophers, the ringing phrases of the Declaration of Independence, what? Testifies or testify? Testify, testify. Why? Because you're talking about the ringing phrases. It is plural. So it is not testifies, it testify. They testify that the ringing phrases testify to an idealistic view of man's potential as a social animal. Okay? Okay. So this is about subject verb agreement. Lakshya said in question number 14, can't it refer to crafting being popular? No, it cannot. It cannot. ये वाला रूल भी बताऊंगा मैं, ये जब भी विच लगाते हो ना, जिस भी नाउन के बिल्कुल बगल में विच लगाते हो उसी से रिलेटेड होना चाहिए, अदरवाइज इट्स रॉन्ग. Lakshya and Shashank, this answers your question. Okay. Lakshya in 14, can't it refer to crafting being popular? अभी तो बताया ना लक्ष्य. Okay. Both set of parents होगा, not sets. Both set of parents. हाँ, I think वो typing error है वो. Yes Siddharth, you are right. वो एक question था, both set of parents. Yes. I think वो typing mistake होगा. Okay. So this brings to an end subject verb agreement, and you need to remember all these rules. And if there is any query that you have, please ask. People who do not have query, then very good night. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll have another one, another error. And people who want more practice, again, the website remains the same. Please go to chompchomp.com. Okay. हाँ तुषार, मुझे आपका मेल मिला, आरसी वाला हैंडआउट चाहिए. आई नो, मैं कल भेजता हूँ आपको. तुषार, आपका मैसेज मिल गया मुझे. Okay. Rishabh, you are saying if I were you, it's correct. Yes, it is correct. It is correct, Rishabh. वो verb में बताऊंगा मैं आपको. Okay. Slide number 13. Rule number 13 दिखाता हूँ मैं, एक मिनट आपको. Wait, somebody wants to see rule number 13. One at a time, okay? Naman, you want the RC handout also? क्यों? वो तो मैं यहीं पे कराऊंगा ना. वो तो मुझे क्लास में कराना है. You guys don't intend to attend the RC class? Okay, anyway, मैं भेज दूंगा, सबको भेज दूंगा. Okay, Sanchit, I was checking the material, SC Grail or GMAT book, which is better? SC Grail. Sanchit, SC Grail. GMAT book में कुछ है ही नहीं. Okay. Okay, what else? If there is anybody who has any other query, yeah, there was one query. Rishabh, you are asking I and were कैसे use हो गया? Rishabh, are you there? Yes. Okay. I and were ऐसे use हो गया जब भी आप किसी dream के बारे में बात करते हो ना, something that you are only longing for which cannot be fulfilled, वैसे situation में use कर सकते हो. Okay, I wish I were, I were Bill Gates or something like that. वैसे situation में वो use कर सकते हो. Okay, my email ID is rahulranjan1@gmail.com. पैराग्राफ कंप्लीशन विल बी रिपीटेड तुषार, वैसे एक बार हो चुके हैं बट फिर से रिपीट होगा. एवरी टॉपिक इज गोइंग टू बी कवर्ड. जो भी आपका मिस हुआ है सब कुछ कवर होगा, डोंट वरी. Okay, now should we call it a day? Should I end this event? Okay, good night everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. And ऋषभ टेंसेस का प्रॉब्लम है. इनफैक्ट टेंसेस ज्यादा टेस्ट नहीं होते हैं. डोंट वरी टेंसेस ज्यादा टेस्ट नहीं होते ऋषभ. पास्ट प्रेजेंट फ्यूचर समझ में आता है ना. पास्ट प्रेजेंट फ्यूचर अगर समझ में आता है तो फिर एवरीथिंग इज ओके. बाकी सब थियोरेटिकल है, फ्रैंकली स्पीकिंग. एवरीथिंग एल्स इज थियोरेटिकल, सो डोंट वरी. But yes, if you do not understand past, present, future, then there is a problem. Otherwise, they do not really ask you questions on tenses. Okay. Okay. Good night. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye.